Hi everyone, this is Sean. Before we dwell deep into the topic today, I want to clear some things up. I got some negative comments on some other videos, and the comments revolved around, some of them were rude, and it revolved around, hey Sean, just give us the information in the videos. Please stop talking about politics. Well, they didn't say please. It was kind of rude. I'm going to be clear. Those of you who are new to the channel, this channel will always talk about politics unless politics has no bearing on law enforcement. It has no bearing in the public security sector. It also has no bearing in the private investigation sector. If it has no bearing on all these three sectors I just mentioned, then I will stop talking about politics. So, in other words, if you don't want me talking about politics, then I highly suggest that you subscribe to another channel that's not mine. My channel is extremely political. Well, I don't want to say extreme, but we do discuss politics a lot. I'm a conservative, I'm an American, and many of my preferences lean more towards the right than the left. A lot of these laws right now that are being created to prevent law enforcement officers and private security from doing their job, and that prevents them from going home safely to their families, most of these laws are designed by Democrats. And in California, we have a super majority of Democrats. There are great Democrats out there, I will say that. I have a lot of subscribers on this channel who I communicate on the phone, in person, who are Democrats. They're great people. But this is how I lean towards this channel. Again, if you don't like it, then please find another channel. You're going to be irritated if you find other channels. Secondly, if you don't like the American flag on my shirt or in the background, then you can also get off my channel, because I really don't want you over here. Get off the channel if you don't like the flag in the back. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the email that I got from Mr. Yukon. And Yukon, please forgive me if I get some of the information wrong, but this is the information that I perceive. This is the information that I interpret from your email. Yukon has a question. So there's a property, and it is patrolled by a security company that is not associated with Yukon. Yukon is our subscriber, by the way. Yukon, by the way, thank you for asking me this very challenging question. This property is patrolled by a private security company. There are some break-ins and some burglaries, some thievery on the property, and the client did not want this security company on their property patrolling anymore. They wanted the contract to stop. There was no written agreement. Every month, the private security charges $5,000. It's $5,000 a month. For what type of service, I have no idea. But it's $5,000 a month. The client received a bill for $113,000. How could that be if the contract rate, the informal contract rate, is $5,000? So if it's $5,000 and 5 months of service, that would be $25,000, not $113,000. So let's talk about the legalities of this. Guys, you guys know I'm not an attorney. None of the information that I provide here is legal advice, not professional advice. I don't represent any law enforcement agency, any government agency, any employer. The opinions reflected in this video, the content reflected in this video, are just my opinions, and there could be costly errors or omissions. So that's my disclaimer. I will also tell you that I never completed law school, you guys, and you should never depend on me for legal advice. Now, I've completed almost 2 years of it, and I was kicked out of law school. I went law school in the online route. I was kicked out. I couldn't pass the baby bar. I took it 3 times, and I got removed. So, that's my experience being a law school dropout. But I am familiar with legal principles and law, but you can't depend on me for legal advice. Okay, so let's get on with the subject. The contract is not a written contract. In a way, it doesn't matter. As long as one party or both parties are performing in the contract, we can actually imply a contract with that's legally binding even without a written contract, as long as both parties are performing. So what if one party is paying the $5,000 and the other party is providing private security services? You actually have an implied contract. You don't need the written contract. But there are some cases when there's dispute, and that calls into an evidentiary question called the statute of frauds, which is a topic of another discussion. It doesn't automatically mean fraud. That's just the legal theory behind it. There could be some issues for evidentiary purposes. I mean, it's basically your word against their word when you don't have a contract. Try not to do these unwritten buddy deals. They tend not to work out. As for the company charging or billing $113,000 instead of $5,000, that's obviously an issue. Now, there's going to be two sides to this argument. The client is going to argue that we agreed to $5,000 a month, but we did not agree to $22,600, and $22,600 times 5 months is $113,000. They're going to say we didn't agree to that. The private security company is going to say, no, you did agree to that, and we provide X, Y, and Z security service, and that's how much you owe. Okay, because we went above and beyond. Actually, we didn't go above and beyond. We carry out what we were contracted to do. And you guys, it's this person's word against the other person's word. It's going to be very difficult. Now, I believe that if the security company is able to prove that they're at a loss of maybe close to $113,000 because of the manpower, because of the services they provide, and that the client received a benefit from this, I mean a great benefit from it, then I think that the client is going to have to owe $113,000. But it just doesn't seem so. Please be patient with me also with the information, you guys. I got limited information on this email. I don't have the contract in front of me. This person, I don't, Yukon, I don't know what his relationship is with these parties. I think it's more of a curiosity. Maybe his company or another company is planning on taking over the security contract. Right now, I'm just speculating. But what are some lessons learned? Number one, have your contract in writing. If you don't have your contract in writing, well, it's my word against your word. If you did provide security service and you're at a loss and the client benefited from it, well, that's something that you could bring into court. That's something that you could discuss with your attorney, and you might be able to recover some of those damages. We also learned this, that when a client stops service unilaterally with a private security company, that private security company might retaliate and say, okay, you want to play games? Okay, instead of a $5,000 a month invoice for 5 months, we're going to give you a $22,600 a month invoice. Okay, so as to whether or not this company, the client should pay $113,000, that's a question that should be answered by a legal representative. I mean, I laid out what my knowledge is of the law, my perception of the law. You guys can interpret that how you like. Now, another thing is this. Yukon mentioned towards the end that there was break-ins and there was crime that occurred on the property. Now, is this a breach of contract? Is this a material breach of contract? If it is a material breach of contract, well, then it's almost like you don't have a contract, and the parties will have to pay for whatever services benefited them. But I've never seen a contract. I'm sure maybe they exist, but I've never seen a contract that states that you guarantee that there will not be any vehicle break-ins, any house burglaries, or any related crime on the property while ABC security company is on patrol. I've never seen that. If you guys seen that on contracts, you let me know. On another note, not a bad idea to think about the strategy. If you can guarantee that no property crime, such as vehicle burglaries or burglaries to the office, will occur during the watch, if you can guarantee that and lay down what the penalty is for breaching that term of the agreement, that might be something to consider. It might actually attract some clients. But again, talk to your legal representatives, talk to those who've been in the industry a long time. That's all I have today. That's all I have today. You guys, if you guys have any other questions, concerns, requests for future videos, please comment in the comment box below. Comment on any video. You can even comment on the first video that I made on this channel, and I will still read your comment. You can send me an email if you like as well, as long as you send me an email with as correct grammar as possible. Spelling, syntax is legible, then I will respond to you. Just don't send me a bunch of language or content that was text to speech, or that was text with two fingers. I get really irritated when I see something like that. You guys, we're security professionals. Let's try our best at communicating with each other with English. And I'm just saying that. I'm just saying this because I'm an LD18 report writing. That's learning domain number 18 report writing instructor in the Basic Police Academy. That's only why, you guys. I'm a little bit picky on language. You guys all take care and be safe.